Welcome back to the session. So myself Ramyasri, working as assistant professor in CSE department at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So today I would like to discuss about the next topic in the DBMS, that is construction of ER model. In the previous session we discussed about the basics of ER model, nothing but what we require to construct the ER model. So basically to construct the ER model we require three basic components of the ER model. Those are entity, attribute and relationship. So those we have discussed in the last session. Based on that entity, attribute and relationship, now we are going to take some real-time example and designing the ER model, how it look like. Now going into the construction of ER model. So first one example I am going to discuss about the example on college management system ER model. So I would like to design about the college management system ER model. So in order to design the ER model of the college management system, what are the basic things we require to design, that I am going to list out here. The first thing is identifying the entities. So basically, in order to design the database, the first and foremost thing is entity we need to identify. So college having many types of entities: student, department, faculty, library, exam branch, administrator. All these comes under the entities of the college management system. So first we need to identify the entities. Next one, we need to identify the attributes of each and every entity. So each and every entity, they're having their own properties. Those properties are called as the attributes. So suppose I take the student. Student is an entity, then attributes of the student is nothing but a ID, name, age, date of birth. These comes under the properties of the student. So those are nothing but a attributes. So after finding the entities, now we need to find the attributes for the each and every entity, what we have discussed in the step 1. Now coming to step 3, after identifying the attributes, now attributes are again categorized into some 4 to 5 types. Now in those attributes we need to identify which are key attributes, derived attributes, stored attributes and composite attributes and multi-valued attributes. We need to identify different attributes. Key attribute is nothing but which uniquely identifies the record in the table, and derived attribute is nothing but which will extract the value of that attribute from some other attribute, that is called as the stored attribute. And next one, composite attribute. An attribute contains a more than one attribute. It is called as the entity having a more nothing but a single attribute. If I take the address, an address contains again subcategorized into some more attributes. Such type of attributes are called as composite attributes. So this third thing is we need to differentiate the types of attributes. And fourth one, now we need to categorize. First thing, entities we have identified. Second thing, attributes. Third thing, we find the types of attributes for the each entity. Now next thing, we need to find the relationship between different entities. So without relationship we cannot form the ER model. There is no connection between the two entities that which is not a ER model. So obviously here we require to connect two different entities by using the relationship. And later on, once after finding the relationship, now we need to go with here mapping cardinalities between the entities. Here mapping cardinalities are nothing but types of relations. So those relations are one to one, one to many to many and many to one. So in such cases, in these mapping cardinalities, we need to categorize which mapping cardinality is suitable for two different entities. In that way, we need to go with the construction of ER model. So these are the 5 basic steps we require to construct the ER model. Now we'll go with the first step, identifying the entities of the college management system. So identifying the entities, first one is I'm going to identify some 5 different entities for the college management system. Not only 5, you can take many more, but in this lecture I'm going to take only 5 entities of the college management system, how to design the ER model. So this ER model is not same for every user. The ER model may be changing from user to user according to their context and according to their perspective. So here I'm going to consider the 5 entities. First one is student, second one is department, third one is course, and fourth one is faculty, and fifth one is research product. So these 5 are called as entities I have identified in the college management system. So first thing we have done. Now moving to the second step, identifying the attributes of each entity. So first we need to identify the attributes, then we need to identify which type of attribute it belongs to. So first one, student I am taking. In the student, I am going to identify the attribute are student ID, name, next date of birth, gender, address, age and the phone number. These all comes under the different attributes or properties of the entity student. In this entity, in these attributes, now we need to categorize which attribute belongs to which type of the attribute. Coming to first one, it belongs to key attribute because the student ID will uniquely identifies the record in the table. So that's why it is called as a key attribute. So first student ID is key attribute and it is denoted by the ellipse and the text should be inside the ellipse should be underlined format. In that way we need to denote the key attribute. And the next one we are going to see DOB, nothing but date of birth. The date of birth is nothing but a stored attribute. This stored attribute will be given by the user. This focus only on the value of the user. So this value of the user will be, value of this attribute should be given by the only user and it will store this data which will be useful for finding the age or anything for the other attribute. So that's why it is called as a stored attribute. And the next one, age. So age is nothing but a derived attribute because it always extract the value of this attribute from the other attribute that is called as a stored attribute, because the age of the person is changing from the time to time and year to year. So every time the age of the person will not be same. So for that purpose, every time the derived attribute should extract the value from the stored attribute. And the next one, address. So address is nothing but a composite attribute. It contains the house number, street number, town, city. These are comes under the different attributes. So first we identify the student entity with some set of attributes and categorized 4 different attributes: key, stored, derived and composite. Now we are moving to the next one. Next attribute of the department, we are going to see about the department. So department may contains the name is one attribute, department ID, faculty ID and student ID. You can ask me why we used here faculty and the student ID, because every department contains the faculties and some set of students. Under department only the students and faculties of that particular department are controlled. So that's why the department entity also includes the properties of faculty ID and the student ID as well as. And coming to here, we need to identify which are the types of attributes. So here I can identify only department ID is a key attribute and remaining all are normal attributes. So department ID is a key attribute because it will uniquely identify a record in the table. And the next one, attributes of faculty. So faculty comes under the faculty ID, name, date of birth, salary, age, grade, designation, course ID. These are the properties of the faculty entity. So here also I included the course ID because every faculty will undertake one course or one or more course. So every time we need to include the course ID in the faculty properties also, because she or she will be able to handle the one or more courses for every semester. And here we need to identify types of the attributes. The first one, faculty ID, it is called as a key attribute, so which uniquely identifies the record. And coming to, again we are having DOB, that is stored attribute, which will store the value given by the user. And next one is the age, it's a derived attribute which will extract the value from the stored attribute, that is DOB. Now next one, fourth one, that is called as a course entity. In the course entity, I am going to recognize some of the attributes are course ID, code, name, student ID, department ID and the faculty ID. So coming to here, I include the student ID, department ID and the faculty ID because these are under every course, the course will be taken by the student and the course will be run by the department and the course will be handled by the faculty. So every time here we need to include the faculty, student and department IDs also in the course structure to know the information about who is handling and who is taking and who is managing. This total thing can be done by using all these attributes. Now coming to here, course ID is again key attribute which is uniquely identifies the records in the table. Now last entity I am going to see here, research project entity. This research project entity contains five properties: project ID, name, next one area, designation, duration, faculty ID. These are comes under the project research project entity. So coming to here, the project ID is called as a key attribute and remaining are normal attributes. So here also I have included the faculty ID because the faculty can only can do the work on the one or more number of projects. So that's why the faculty ID should be must in the properties of the entity research project entity. So first step we discussed, first step we identified the entities. In the second step we identified the attributes. In the third step we identified the different types of attributes. Now the fourth step we are going to discuss identifying the relationship between entities. So first one, how many entities I have taken? Here I have taken the student, department, course, faculty and research product. So among these five, here I am going to show the relationship between different entities. The first entity is student and second entity is department. There is a relationship between the student and the department. Why? Because one student can belongs to one or many students can belongs to one and only department. Nothing but a student is doing course under one department. He cannot able to do course in the other department. Nothing but one student is department. One student belongs to one and only one department. And coming to next one, from department to student. So department can have more than one student or no students. So it can handle many number of students or no students. So these two are the relationship between the student and department and student. So coming to the student and department, one to one and only one, and department to student, many to one many to one department to zero or more number of students. And coming to next relationship between two more attributes, the third entity I have covered here. So student and the course. So relationship between the student and the course, obviously the student takes the courses. The course is nothing but here not is a department. The course is nothing but a subject. The student can take the one subject or more subjects. Then can be take one or more number of subjects. And coming to course to department here, course to student. Coming to course to student, one course can be offered to many students or no student. Nothing but if we take some courses can be done by only some students and some will not do. Depends upon their priority. Some will be doing and some will not be doing. Depends upon the college constraints. And the next one, course to faculty. The relationship between the course to faculty is nothing but a faculty always teaches the courses. So how many courses the faculty can teach? The faculty can teach any number of courses, so zero number of courses. One course can be taught by many faculty or zero number of faculty. And faculty to course, a faculty can teach one more number of courses or no courses. The next relations, that is faculty and research project. So here faculty and research project, nothing but relationship between faculty and research product is faculty always works on the research product. One faculty can work on many projects or no project. There may be depends. And next one, research project to faculty. One research project is handled by many faculties or no more. So these are the relationship we identified. The first one is student to department, and next one is department to student, and third one is student to course, and fourth one is course to student, and next one is faculty to course and course to faculty, and the last one is faculty to research project and research project to faculty. Now let us see the notations of mapping entities. Nothing but up to now we have seen one to one, one and only one, how to map. So here the first symbol is one to one. Suppose here one record in the one table is attached to the other record in the other table, then the first mapping cardinality should be used, that is called as a one to one. And next one is one to many. So it can be used, this notation should be used in the one to many format, and many to one, this one third one, and fourth one or more. This indicates one or more. And next one and only one indicates two lines on the horizontal, and next one zero or more, and this implements zero can involve or more number can involve. So these are the notations we should use while constructing the ER model. Nothing but the ER model, to map two entities, we need to make use of mapping cardinalities of any one of these choice depending upon the criteria. Now let us see the architecture of nothing but a ER model of college management system. So what are the entities here? Entities are nothing but a student is the entity, department is the entity, course is the entity, faculty is the entity, and research project is the entity. All the entities in the ER model should be represented by the rectangle notations, and whatever the attributes we identify for the each and every entity, those are represented by the nothing but a ellipse notation. So here the student are nothing but have some set of attributes. So here we can see the student age, student date of birth, student ID, student phone number, student name. This student ID is nothing but a key attribute because it is denoted by the underline format, and next one dotted indicates it is called as a derived attribute because it can extract the value only from the already existing attribute. That existing attribute is date of birth. So always date of birth will extract. The age of the student should be depends upon the date of birth attribute. And next one, here one more attribute that is called as a composite attribute. So coming to composite attribute, the composite attribute is again categorized into 4 types. First one is gender, street number, town, and next one is city. So this is called as a composite attribute. So for the student, we are having 3 different types: stored, derived, key attribute, and the composite. This is the first one. And coming to department, again we are having here 4 different attributes. In this department is a key attribute. And coming to course, again here we are having the key attribute that is called as a course ID. And the faculty, again we are having the key attribute is faculty ID. By seeing the notation, we can able to know which type of attribute it is. And next, age is also called as here derived. And coming to research project is also contains a key attribute. So here you need to observe here, for each and every entity there should be a key attribute. It should be must. So without key attribute, we cannot maintain a flexible database because key attribute can maintain the database uniquely by using this IDs. So based on these key attributes only, in the conversion from the ER model to relational model, we can able to convert. So by using these key attributes, we can able to convert one table to other table. Nothing but in order to relate 2 tables by using this key attribute will form as a primary key in the first table, and the same key attribute in the second table forms as a foreign key. With the help of the primary and the foreign key, we can able to relate 2 different tables. That we'll see in the coming session how to convert the ER model to relation model. So that's why key attribute plays a major role in relating 2 different tables. And coming to here, let's see the relations. The student belongs to the department. So here I have used a notation. So one student can belongs to one and only one department. That notation represents here. One student belongs to one and only one department, and department can contains 0 or more number of students. That is the notation here. 3 lines with many or 0. So here the department can contains 0 or many number of students. That is the relationship between the student and ID. So in order to relate these two, student and the department, the 2 entities should have the common attribute. The common attribute is student ID in the first entity, and here also student ID in the second entity. So these 2 forms the relationship between 2 different entities. And coming to second relation, student again forms the relation with the course, that is called as a study. Student always studies the course. So what is the relationship between the student and the course? So one student, nothing but one student, the one or many students can do so here one student can do one or more number of courses, and the course can be done by 0 or many number of students according to the criteria. You see, it implies 0 or many, this implies one or many. And the next one, the relationship between the course and the faculty. So what is the relationship between the course and faculty? The faculty always teaches the course. So one faculty can teach one or more courses. So that's why it implies one or more. And course can be taught by 0 or more number of faculty. It can be taught by 1 faculty, 2 faculty, or no faculty. That is the relation here, 0 or many. And next, last relation between the faculty and research project. The faculty and research project, always faculty works on the research project. So one faculty can handle zero or many research projects. Nothing but one faculty can work on zero or many research projects, and one research project is done by zero or many faculty. So this is the construction of ER model for college management system. So first we need to identify the attribute entities, then attributes, then types of attributes, then relationship between those attributes, those entities, then finally give the mapping cardinalities between two entities. So once after drawing ER model, it is very easy to convert the ER model to relational model, that we will see in the coming session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.